surface and then explodes 20 or 30 meters inside the facility. So it takes time. You don't get to assess what happened from satellites. You have to figure out other ways to assess what happened there, and it will take some time until we will know for sure. I don't know if we'll ever know for sure, but it will take some time until we will know better.
I'm interested in your opinion because obviously you can destroy facilities, you can set back their plans, but ultimately Iran still has the technical know-how, the scientists, the manufacturing ability to rebuild these, the enrichment process over,
and the uranium mines.
And the uranium mines over some period of time, should they wish to. So in terms of what the desired outcome is, in your opinion, for Israel, is it that, is it enough to give up nuclear ambitions, or does Iran have to give up any desire for a civilian nuclear capability? What gives Israel confidence? Because Iran will continue to be a regional neighbor.
Yeah, well, I would go, there are 5 basic terms that needs to be answered in any future agreement. I'm not against all agreements. I mean, we always said a good agreement is the best thing, a bad agreement is the worst thing, and what has happened now is the in-between, or the sanctions were the in-between. So there are 5 basic terms that needs to be answered in any future agreement. The first is no enrichment inside Iran, which is the gold standard of the Middle East that was set when the Emirates wanted to have their own nuclear plant. No centrifuges, they all have to be dismantled. No enriched uranium, all enriched uranium inside that they already have has to be taken somewhere else, as deposited somewhere else. No ballistic missiles program, and of course, unlimited supervision. If you have those 5 terms, that makes sense, and to some extent, the majority of those were already answered in the JCPOA, in the former agreement that the UK was part of as an E3 country, just performed better and in a more strict way, then you have an agreement that we can trust, and there will be no future necessary Israeli operations or American operations or joint operations. Nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted to fight. Listen, this is sometimes the absurdity of this is hitting me. We have no border with Iran. We have no historical conflict with Iran. The Iranians are sympathetically mentioned in the Bible as our friends. So historically, and you know, in the Middle East, there are only 4 real historic nations that were not a Sykes-Picot, Western geographers drawing a map, which is Israel, Iran, Turkey, and Egypt. So there's no reason for this ongoing dispute. And alas, this regime has decided that all he wants is to develop a nuclear program in order to have a bomb, in order to throw it on Israel. So we had to act.
Thank you. You mentioned the JCPOA, Mr. Lapid. Thank you for saying that. Of course, in 2018, when the last Trump administration pulled out of that agreement, it was understood that was because of Israeli pressure. I wondered, did you think that that was the right decision at that time? And do you agree that we do now need a negotiated situation close to the JCPOA again now, in order to make sure that Iran is able to covertly develop this capability again?
Well, in my opening, it wasn't even an opening remark, it was an opening remark. I said that I disagree with Prime Minister Netanyahu in most things. One of them was the way they acted opposite the JCPOA. Getting rid of the JCPOA without a clear plan of what do we want to have instead of this was wrong. And by the way, without getting our European friends, this was, back in history, I don't know if you remember this, but England used to be part of Europe. But basically, doing this without our European friends was a mistake. It should have been a coordinated effort and not one-sided. So I think the JCPOA had its flaws. I used to discuss this with our American friends in length, but making it disappear without a coherent plan of what should come instead of this, just saying we're going to have full sanctions, but the full sanctions does not include our European friends, so it's not full sanctions, wasn't the right way to go about it. So what we do need is an agreement that is better than the JCPOA, stricter, better supervision, tougher terms.
Thank you, very, very helpful. Another criticism that has been made in the international community is around international law, the initial strikes made by Israel in this round of conflict. Many people have said that, and we've spoken, Iran may have been months or years away from developing a nuclear bomb, so that there is no clear international legal precedent for the attacks. What is your position on that, and do you think it's damaging for Israel to be seen again after so many occasions to be breaching international law?
Well, what's the committee's position on an atomic bomb exploding in Israel in terms of the international
This would, of course, be a disaster.
Yes. So yeah, you know, it's always a conflict whether or not to raise holocaustic arguments in discussions like this. We didn't speculate, we didn't feel, we saw the intelligence that tells us that Iran is rushing into the bomb, and the international law cannot do anything about it, or it doesn't have the willpower to do something about it, the international community. And we thought we cannot sit on our hands. Now, we are a law-abiding country, but the right for self-defense is part of the international law, especially opposite existential threats. So this is why we have operated the way we did. Let me remind you, if you're talking about the international law, there are only two countries, two member states in the United Nations, in which one is openly saying that its goal is the total destruction of the other. The Iranians have said it again and again on public platforms. We are the
Israeli ministers who have said similar things about the population in Gaza and Tehran. I mean, if we're just picking out individual statements.
Okay, hang on. And let's not go into that rabbit hole at this moment. Can I perhaps approach it from another way? Let me see if I can put it this way. So we've heard your evidence that Israel was under threat, and certainly